Like, what is the actual difference between saying that you're a woman and saying that you're Japanese? What do the Japanese get up to when left to their own devices, I wonder? Ooh, what's this? Unit 731. Trans stuff has overtaken everything in, like, lefty discourse. It's like the thing. I wonder if Bowblax was doing his classic, where he was stating there's a specific reason he doesn't want it released. That gets removed and it gets released, and all of a sudden, he's upset because there's some other unspoken reason that he didn't want it released. Then before we get into, well, we'll do a bit of Bowblax tent as well. A man who identifies as a woman complained that his therapist wouldn't use his preferred name of Seiko, and now he's being cancelled for culturally appropriating a Japanese name. New therapist. Nice to meet you. Dead name. That being their name that were given at birth or whatever. Could you please address me as Seiko? You want me to call you Psycho? This therapist, if it's even a real interaction, is based. No, Saeko. As a professional, I don't think I can ethically do that. Dead name. You are white. You can't be talking like that, white baby. I mean, to be fair, these are not particularly heavily engaged with tweets. But I don't deny the sentiment probably exists. I'm sure there's some people that are horrified at this cultural appropriation. White people learn a different language and get straight to the colonizing.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I'm sorry they dead named you, but you've got to choose a cracker name.
Wargaming Dad.
I can say that. I'm white. I'm allowed to say that. Cracker. I'm allowed to say that as it's there on the screen. That's my word. I get to say that, okay? Thank you for the membership. Cracker. Name gang. You're a grown woman. There is no excuse for this. I just flash back to all the people that have been banned for using that word, but it's when it's used in aggression at another person. That's when it's an issue. You're white, pick a white name. Motherfucker whiter than mayonnaise talking about its name is Seiko. Okay. The logical inconsistency of gender ideology in 1080p. You can be a whole male with a penis and decide you're a woman, but God forbid you be non-Japanese and decide you're Japanese. Okay. This was always, even when I was with the leftoids more so, this was always quite a difficult one. I was always like, well, what is the difference between, you know, like what is the actual difference between saying that you're a woman and saying that you're Japanese? And there was never, I never really felt like there was a good argument against that, and it was just kind of coping. Trying to act. I think it was like, oh, well, gender is an expression of yourself, and you know, your ethnicity is a matter of fact. But then some people try and claim that they've changed their sex. And sex is supposed to be the more fundamental aspect. But people do claim they've changed their sex from male to female, which, as far as I'm aware, isn't a scientifically possible feat. All you can do is change the way you present and aspects of yourself and legally change on documents what your sex says, but you're still a natal male or a natal female. So yeah, I don't know, dude. It's like... Sure, I guess so. Yeah, sure. Why not say you're Japanese, I guess. Who is the name of that person that's become a super, like, right-wing person? Ollie London. Ollie London did that. They got surgery to try and be more Korean, if you know what I mean. And then they changed their mind and are like, oh, no, actually, now I think trans stuff's bad. Rachel Dolezal, that's another one that tried to do the black thing. Because you're white, there's like countless names you could have picked, and you had to pick on from a language and culture with no connections to whatsoever. Hi. So this one's got a few more views. Only 1.3k, but a few more. Hi, so this is cultural appropriation and racist if you're not Japanese. If you actually want to help combat Japanese imperialism and imperialist sentiments, take time to educate yourself about indigenous Japanese peoples and our cultures. Thanks. This feels like a time warp. I feel like I don't really see this as much on X anymore. But this is like the cultural appropriation stuff. It's like such a time warp for me. It's like, do people still talk about that? I guess they do. Now I just see racism and transphobia on X. Yeah, indigenous Japanese people and their culture. What do the Japanese get up to when left to their own devices, I wonder? Ooh, what's this? Unit 731. This is like an interesting aspect of Japanese history. Let's read on. Was a covert biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army that engaged in lethal human experimentation. Whoa! Bro, what were they doing? They were wilding out there. Jesus Christ. They make Dr. Joseph Mengele look like an actual decent practicing physician from the looks of it. Holy fuck, dude. Unit 731 was responsible for some of the most notorious war crimes committed by the Japanese arm, but wow! God, I tell you what, the more I learn about these indigenous Japanese people, the more I'm a bit like, what the fuck was that all about? Anyway. Oh.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
I guess I am culturally
Hey! Sokokage. Thank you for the $20. And Jay Meta with a $50 super sticker. Shiba wearing samurai armor, writing "You're amazing" in the air of sparklers. Is that cultural appropriation? Or is the Shiba Asian enough to be considered okay? I'm really not sure. Okay. Transracial. See, dude, I don't know. I don't know what. I'm so far out of all the trans stuff. I don't even know what the right arguments would be against the idea of transracialism. And I guess you could make the differentiation if you were solely talking about your gender expression. But if you're talking about your sex, which is a more fundamental observation of you as a human being, because it's based on defined characteristics. I mean, how is transracialism not possible if you're willing to say that sex is not a fundamental aspect of a trait of yourself? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I feel like it's the kind of thing you'd have to spend fucking hours researching to understand, and I literally couldn't care less. It literally goes both ways. Japanese people literally write English words because it looks cool. Yeah, dude, fundamentally, the whole Japanese cultural appropriation thing is so dumb. Like, who fucking cares, bro? This is the dumbest shit I can imagine. The only saving grace is that it's quite small tweets talking about it, but I'm sure there's other people talking about it too. I just imagine that whatever concerns about... Do you know what it... Oh my God, do you know what it is? Dude, trans stuff has overtaken everything in like lefty discourse. It's like The Thing. You know the movie The Thing? It infects and takes over everything. So now a tweet going on about cultural, what some would classify as cultural appropriation gets overwritten by the fact it's about a trans person being dead named. So all of these tweets, I'm telling you, I feel like even a few years ago, people would have been way more on top of the cultural appropriation thing. But I feel like now that's the focus. So the cultural appropriation thing is like a distant thought process when it comes to this stuff now. I'm telling you, it's the sissification of the left. Yes, exactly. But yeah, I think that it's overtaken everything. So I think that cultural appropriation, maybe it's going to come later. Maybe we're a bit too soon for it, but is there any cultural appropriation discourse happening? Did any meaningful cultural appropriation discourse happen last year? I feel like 4 or 5 years ago, it was all over the place, particularly during Halloween, where you'd have conversations about how it's not appropriate, discourse about how it's not appropriate to wear certain outfits, and if you're white, you got to stick to white characters. You can't be a black character, and you can't be this character, you can't be that character, you can't go in an Indian headdress, etc., etc. I fear that the trans brain rot discourse has overtaken all aspects of the lefties. So now cultural appropriation, we don't even get a bit of variety during Halloween. It's all trans stuff still. That's true. But that wasn't, that was, yeah, I suppose so. There was the Freddy Krueger thing that I spotted last week. Anyway, guys. Just a funny little bit of trans tent for you. We're not going to dwell on it too long, lest the Chaser allegations prop their ugly heads up again. See, I thought I was done with this background, but then I saw this. So a bit of Black's tent, a little scrap of Black's tent, and then we'll get into this slot video, okay? So, hey homies, Aiden here. So Aiden Projects is the person that leaked the call of himself and Bowblax, right? Cyrus was nice enough to lend me the account for the day. I am making this thread to respond to the chilling and disturbing allegations being made against me by my former friend, Bowblax. 5 years of friendship with Aiden for this. I want to talk to you off the record. Okay. And these screenshots here. Can we join back if we remove Keem? Josh, Aiden, I want to talk to you off the record. I'm at a friend's house right now, but I can in a couple of hours if you're still up. If not, we can tomorrow. All right, I'll let you know when I'm available tomorrow. I'm pretty sure when I listen to the call, isn't there a point at which Aiden says about recording the call? Although maybe he didn't clarify, we're speaking on the record and this is potentially going to be publicized. But he at least said he was recording the call. Well, anyway, I'm sure we'll get to that. I'm down to call whenever now. Sorry we're sleeping. You on in 1 hour. Oh, I can't see that. I can't see that. I don't think Bowblax has blocked me yet, so I think we should be able to see this. Here we go. So Aiden started a call that lasted an hour, the one that was recorded. Stop doing Twitter versus archives. Just going to get hate bombarded. I mean, facts. Yo, I know you want to help and I appreciate it, but I'm getting too caught up in thinking about this and need to refocus on higher priority things. Thank you so much for being a good friend, trying to help me, but I just need to disconnect from this part of my life for a bit. I'll message you when I'm ready to tackle this issue. Couple of days to weeks from that, to a week from now. Okay. Read your chat, add me. Are you still against me leaking the call, even if I cut the info out about redacted? Yes. Why? Okay. So that's the original tweet. Okay. So, let's see what the response here is. He claims that my recording of the call wasn't justified, as on the 28th, I state to him, I'd like to talk to you off the record. If this was the only preceding statement, then it would be snaky, but this is out of context, and I'll demonstrate that Josh has lied by omission. So on the 29th, a day later, at the start of our call, I asked Josh if our call could be actually on the record. He agreed for it to be recorded, thus negating my statement made on the 28th. I mean, to be fair, look, I understand Bowblax is a fucker, whatever, right? But there's a difference between saying you're going to record a call and saying something's on the record. Saying something is on the record is a specific journalistic concept, and it means that anything that you're talking about can be disclosed and you can be attributed as having said that, right? So I know it's obviously easy for me to just say Bowblax is a fucking retard, but I do think that there is a differentiation to be made there. But let's see what he says.
Josh.
Yo,
Bowblax.
Aiden.
I can't remember
Projects.
exactly.
What's up, bro?
So first of all, I'm gonna ask you for consent, and if not, totally okay. Totally okay. Would you be okay with having an on-the-record conversation with me?
I don't know. Well, I'm not sure, honestly. It depends what we say and talk about. You can record it, and then I can decide after, I suppose.
Josh.
Yo.
Wait a second. So that clip is confirmation that he can record it. So he's recorded it. But that's not confirmation that he's comfortable with it being on the record. So, yeah. I don't know, dude. That's a bit dicey as far as I'm concerned. I'm not super bothered about it. I don't really care that much about calls getting leaked. But, you know, I think this is obviously a confusing situation. You know, there's obviously a confusing sentiment that exists as a result of this. Anyway, let's see how he addresses it further. But you said you could record. He'll decide if you leak it after. Very true. After he said it, he told me not to release it because it contained a piece of private info. I removed this info from the call, which negated the reason for why it couldn't be released. Okay. If Bowblax said, I don't want it released because of that particular piece of info, and that was the reason stated, well, then the removal of that info would mean that it's okay to release it. Unless there was another reason that you didn't want it to be released, like it made you look bad or was embarrassing. So I wonder if Bowblax was doing his classic, where he was stating there's a specific reason he doesn't want it released. That gets removed and it gets released, and all of a sudden, he's upset because there's some other unspoken reason that he didn't want it released. Right, okay. Okay, yeah. No, this is convinced me. This Aiden guy didn't do anything wrong. I mean, you could argue he could have been nicer about it. He could have gone to him and asked for more explicit commission or something like that. But I think what's happened here, Bowblax has pointed to one specific thing. The real reason he doesn't want it released is likely because it's embarrassing or looks bad for him or something like that. But he's come up with a specific reason as to why the call can't be released, hoping that means the call doesn't get released at all. And then that's been removed and it's been released. And now all of a sudden, it's bad to release the call because there's an unspoken reason. That, I think, is the situation. Yeah, sure, he could have been nicer about it. He could have asked more explicitly. He could have got more explicit permission. He could have said, well, I've removed that, so now I can release the call. Sure. But I think this is, you know, a product of Bowblax, like, not just being upfront. Like, why not say, listen, man, I really don't want the call released because I sound bad and I'm embarrassed about it. Why not say that? Why not be upfront about it? Why does it have to be naming a specific reason and then that gets removed and then therefore it's okay to release the call, surely? So, you know, I should probably say maybe Aiden could have done a few things differently, okay? Sure, we could make that argument. Not he didn't do anything wrong, but there's maybe he could have been nicer about it. He could have asked Bowblax more explicitly. He could have gone to him for permission or something like that. I just think that, you know, if you give a specific reason why a call can't be released, and you give a reason, and that gets taken out and it gets released, well, that's on you. You should have been more upfront about why you didn't want the call released. Given that the reason for why I couldn't release it was negated, the fact that the call related to the public lies he had told, and he had recorded a private call, I felt more than justified in leaking it. I told him I was recording a courtesy it does not afford to others. By Josh including the statement off the record made on the 28th, while completely leaving out that he changed his mind and agreed to be recorded, he has blatantly lied by omission. I'll forgive him if he issues a 2-page MLA 12-point font. So at this point, I don't agree with, though, because there's a difference between saying, I want something on the record and off the record, and agreeing to recording a call. On the record is a very specific terminology. And it's that clip that you showed, it was clear that there was like uncertainty in regards to what that meant, right? So I think this is stupid. But I think that fundamentally it comes down to Bowblax not being upfront and honest. And I think there'd be a better case to answer to here if Bowblax had said explicitly, you know, don't release the call because it's embarrassing for me or something like that. Why does he need permission? I mean, well, I guess you don't really need permission. You can release a call, but it's just a courteous thing to do, isn't it? But yeah, I think this is, you know, not a big deal one way or another. But I think that Bowblax, did Bowblax tweet something out or did I dream this? I think that Bowblax tweeted something out in regards to, is everyone going to be consistent and criticize Aiden projects for, you know, having criticized me for the lyrics thing? And it's like, but those are different circumstances. In the lyric situation, you surreptitiously recorded lyrics without letting him know. So although you could still have some criticism somewhere for Aiden here, I don't think it's the same situation because at least you were aware you were being recorded. In both situations, a call is leaked without the other's consent. Yes, but in one situation, one party weren't aware or wasn't made aware by the other party they were being recorded. Whereas in this, Bowblax was aware he was being recorded, right?
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Sweeping for who? Thank you for the super chat. Who am I sweeping for? I don't even fucking know this Aiden guy.
That's wonderful.
What
But
do you
how do I
mean?
make money
I got
off
no
depressed
desire to
people?
sweep in
Joe
any
Mama
direction.
became a
I literally
member.
couldn't care less about any of this. All that matters is the why would I sweep for Aiden of all people? I don't even fucking know the guy. He sometimes comes by chat. He's got like a big channel, but he doesn't make content anymore. Yeah, I don't think it's the same circumstance, so I don't think you need to, you know, I don't think you need to have exactly the same take on both situations. But yeah, it could have been clearer. Aiden Projects could have done more to clarify and to confirm if he was wanted to be nice about it. But I mean, yeah, like if Bowblax is saying in a call that he's aware he's being recorded, information which contests public statements that he's made, yeah, I don't really have that big a problem with it, really. Anyway, there we go, guys. There's the Black's tent. It keeps coming, keeps happening, it never stops. The Black's tent never stops. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable take. That's not saying the same as you can post the call. Yeah, but the detail that you're missing there, okay, is Party A, can I post the call? Party B, no, you can't post it. I mean, we've not got proof of this, to be fair, so we are taking Aiden's word for it. Obviously, it would be good to have better confirmation of this, right? So put it like that. But Party B says, please don't release it because it's got this private information that I don't want to be public. If that is the reason that you're saying you don't want it released, and you state that, and that gets removed, well, then there's no reason to not release the call. There would have to be some other reason that is unstated as to why you don't want the call released. Yeah, exactly. He could have been nicer about it. You know, he could have been nicer and gone back and gone, oh, I've edited that bit out. Can I release the call now? That would be the optimum, nicest possible way to handle this. If a girl says she doesn't want to fuck you because you're a 6 foot, does that mean if you get a booster shoes on, you can rape her? I don't know why you're asking me that question, because I think you know my answer to that, okay? Well, I mean, the thing is like, I don't like this idea of like Bowblax did something bad. Because to use a recent analogy from chat there, if someone raped someone, does that mean it's justified for them to get raped in return? I'm probably asking the wrong chat, to be honest. Anyway, I also do think, to be fair, that Bowblax is, if they've got any sort of relationship, which seems to be indicated by these messages, I mean, yeah, Bowblax probably feels that he's been snaked. I mean, that's pretty reasonable, whether or not you think he's a retard or not. He probably does feel snaked by this. But, yeah, I don't know, dude. It's like, what? Why going to call and say all that stupid shit and contest what you
Good
said
night, our next
publicly?
guest, sweetheart. You all right?
Has changed and I can feel
I saw a woman like this in the store yesterday. It was a white woman, but had so much fake tan that she looked black. It was fucking insane. Transracialism is what this is. Anyway, guys,